Trump's ass when he said he was gonna kill you during J6. You don't remember that? I'm just saying, like, if somebody said they're gonna kill me, the most I'm gonna do is leave your ass alone. Just say, I'm gonna pretty much leave you alone. I'm not really gonna fuck with you. I'm gonna at least leave you alone. Let's go through this article. Oh, by the way, so to explain some lingo, you know, what the kids are saying. Some people don't say it, but Atlantian. So I'm an Atlantian. I'm born and raised. Some people call it a Georgia peach, but I'm born and raised here in Atlanta. And then we have ATLiens. ATLiens are the people that are not from here. There are foreigners that we welcome. The main invader here in ATL that most people feel that we need to fight against, and that's black and white people, Asians and Latinos, Indians, natives, the few that we still have, and East Indies, everybody. Most people feel that we have domestic racism, terrorists, violence that come from European descent people with zero indigenous blood, where they convince themselves throughout time, throughout history, over and over again, burn something down that belongs to someone who has dark skin, kill and rape them. And what is getting annoying is that people, you know, how they starting to make fun of the chosen ones, but they have a star on their forehead and they're finna move on and they're finna shun the racists and leave it behind, because it's been over 1,000 years. However, some people don't want to count that far. Some people do. I do. And it's been too long that we're trying to work with someone who just doesn't want to get it together. They keep convincing us that they want to kill us, so we're going to leave you alone so you can have that energy to yourself. I do want to talk about one of the people in the comments because I totally agree with him. Right here, tell Kemp to use the National Guard to bust down meth labs in his own state. Use National Guard to help the soup kitchens and help their homeless comrades. We have our own issues in the state of Georgia. Hell yeah, we do. I agree with you. When I was in high school, I wonder if my friend remembers, I was at the pool and we saw a meth lab blow up, dude. Blow up in my face. I was like, poof. What was that? It was like, boom and shit. I was like, damn. Why is the cop showing up? Found out the next day that we watched a meth lab blowing up. Later, there's someone else in the comments was like, that's not true. I was like, that is true. And they were from Hiram, Georgia. I have a friend who got pimped by a meth dealer in your town. Yes, I agree. We talk about East Side Atlanta's powder problem, Special K, Coke, meth, whatever type of powder we're on, you know, we talk about that. But of course, who are the people who are, that's expensive drug, right? Who are the people who are really on their Coke? Who are the people who really snort their Coke? Besides some poor people, who are the people up top who are really snorting that Coke, putting fentanyl in it, talking about China makes fentanyl. Bitch, come on, we know you got fentanyl in these American labs, and we're fucking American. Like some Americans say, guys, we're the bad guys. It's not us, it's those people who get the positions up top and they start fucking it up. All right, we're not going to go through this long. I definitely do need to tell the locals of ATL. Kemp says Georgia is proud to stand with troops and National Guard troops deployment to DC. So basically he's taking, you have state troops, Georgia troops, and that's what he's doing. He's taking Georgia troops and he's going to march them up to DC and help Trump. And that's what like I just said to you when we started. Trump said he was going to kill you. During that J6, he said, kill Pence, kill Kemp. Some of y'all don't remember him saying kill Kemp, but I remember, excuse me, because he's the governor over my state. That's why I remember that stuff. I don't even, like, to be honest with you, there's no point in even going through this article. I do have it down below so you guys can read more about it from Newsbreak. But I just feel like there's no, all it is blah, 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 blah. You kiss Trump's ass while he repays you by later wanting to kill you while you blah, 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 I'm gonna help you, Trump, blah. Why are you helping him? You don't remember during J6, he wanted to kill you, Kemp. Oh my God. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp. By the way, did I already say he's supposed to be leaving right now? And we're voting on another governor and lieutenant governor, by the way. So y'all got to pay attention to the lieutenant governor because he backs up the governor. Brian Kemp on Friday announced that he's going to be sending 300 National Guard up to Washington, D.C. I'm going to skip through a lot of this. Enforcement to restore public safety. Dude, this is, they always lie. This is them repeating Russian. They're repeating Putin shit. Putin kept saying, make Russia great. And he would say, oh, I'll get the criminals. I'll rub them out in the outhouse and stuff like that. This is the lie that they always perpetuate to people, to the masses. This is the type of divide. And they do use racism to spark people and the differences of our colors. They could be using media and TV to bring us together and love one another, but us learn each other's cultures and learn how we're different but we're similar, and it's beautiful and it's okay. But instead, they are using the media sources to fight, to divide. And the other thing is, I learned slave trade, Atlantic slave trade, and a lot of people, they just learned from high school and then they didn't go back and relearn. So the colonizers, a lot of people remember how the colonizers had traded. I don't know why I want to say this about guns real quick, but I need to, because they're trying to take your safety from you. They're trying to convince you they're using the stunts of killing kids with guns so that they can convince you to disarm yourself. But they're not going to disarm themselves. And y'all really need to get up on the art of warfare. But, so that's what they did to the slaves when they took them in gunpoint to slavery. That's why we're never going to fall for that again. The colonizers, the Spaniards, traded the Africans alcohol and guns for people and gold. And then they confiscated some guns. And then when they went back down, they had been trying to trick them for years to enslave them. So that's how, once they confiscated some guns, they took them by gunpoint and put them in slavery. And that's what they're trying to do now to people. They're trying to convince you that, oh, act like Europe, when Europe is the one who brought guns to the world. Act like Europe. Get rid of your guns. Oh no, us cops, we're going to keep our guns. Yeah. Now I'm going to tie you up and take you wherever I want and rape you and shoot you up by gunpoint. So some of you guys, as y'all are hollering gun control, you really need to be hollering gun education, gun education, gun education, gun education. Because this is how we are in the South. And a lot of people don't understand that. Is that there's people who try to come up to you and kill you. And other people are allowed to protect themselves and have whatever safety they need to have. And thankfully for me, my close friends and the people around me, they never even knew they had a gun. I actually have one right behind me. And that's how gun works. You should not know if someone has a gun unless an intruder or someone's trying to hurt you. Most of these people do use their guns as for scare tactics. Not really for the tool that it is. It's supposed to be for protection. And so it's not the gun that's dangerous. It's the person behind the gun and their intent. Just like this broadcasting is not dangerous, but it's, what I'm saying and how I'm guiding people, my intent, that could be dangerous. The church religion is not dangerous. But us allowing people who don't care about other people to get in positions that are high up, especially this presidency, now it's that person with their intent that's dangerous. It's not the object. I just feel like I had to say that real quick.
3 years ago.
Atlanta is like a killing field, and your governor ought to get off his ass and do something about it. But Kemp doesn't want to end it because he's a bad guy, he's a disloyal guy, and he's a very average governor. Little Brian Kemp. Bad guy. But think of it. I got this guy nominated, I then got him elected. Without me, he doesn't get nominated and he doesn't get elected. He had no chance of winning either one. I've had you up to here, Brian. I've had you up to here. He's a bad guy, and he's not doing this country a good service. So I did these 2 big rallies, and he won. He did win. He won by like 2%, I believe. But I got him by doing massive rallies, and I really worked hard. He's the most disloyal guy I think I've ever seen.
Let's talk about what's going on in Georgia with Brian Kemp. So he had to today try to explain his relationship with Donald Trump, and here's what he said.
I had a great relationship with Mike Pence. I had a great relationship with President Trump. I've never said anything bad about him. I don't plan on doing that. I'm not mad at him. I think he's just mad at me, and that's something that I can't control.
Your status, like, do you think that his kingmaker status, Donald Trump's, hinges on this?
Well, I mean, look, I think he's still extremely influential with Republican voters. It's just in this particular case, he ran up against somebody who figured out how to solve the equation. It doesn't mean Donald Trump isn't an influential person anymore. But Kemp's also had the benefit, too, of having, and sometimes in the Republican Party, the way you can explain success is by having all the right enemies. DeSantis in Florida has this right now. Kemp, in many ways, has had all the right enemies. He defeated Stacey Abrams. He stood up against some of the corporations in Georgia in 2020. He, stuck to his guns on the Georgia election law that, a lot of the national liberal establishment came down on him for. So even though Donald Trump was mad at him, he then cultivated some of the right enemies that I think signaled to Republican voters, hey, Brian Kemp really is one of us despite Donald Trump's opinion. So does it totally throw out his kingmaker status? No. Does it show a way to stand up to Donald Trump? Yes. And does it show the right way to run a campaign when you have this dynamic? Absolutely. People should study the Brian Kemp model.
It's interesting to hear what some Republican governors are now saying about Donald Trump and how he's conducting himself in 2022. Basically, they're calling his involvement his personal vendetta tour. And one of the people talking about it is former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. He said this yesterday. This is not the best use. OK, so basically what he's talking about is having to spend money in Georgia to fend off Donald Trump's attacks. And he says this is just not the best use of our money. We would much rather use it in races against Democrats. But it was made necessary because Donald Trump decided on the vendetta tour this year. And so we need to make sure we protect these folks who are the objects of his vengeance. So what's the larger point here?
Well, the larger point is Chris Christie is exuding the quaint notion that political parties are about the team and about the health and future of the party as a whole. Of course, he's doing that in the era of Donald Trump, who's made the Republican Party all about himself. I mean, Donald Trump doesn't think about, hey, party resources would be better spent here or there, and this is how we win more races. I mean, he doesn't view the world through that lens. Now, fortunately, the Republican Governors Association decided to view the world exactly through that lens. And that's the role of a party or a party committee, to help the party's incumbents and the party's rock star office holders win election. And enjoy.
Wait, there's more.
He was talking about Fani Willis, of course, indicted Trump, 18 others, Rudy Giuliani, one of them, for trying to overturn the presidential election in Georgia by attempting to use those fake electors. Kemp refused to back Trump's election lies, and for that, Trump has called out Kemp at rallies and on social media again and again. Let's put up the post. In this one, Trump reserves all caps for Madam DA, but you get his point. He does not like at all Brian Kemp. They're just, they're enemies. Well, I'll just read it to you anyway. Governor Kemp of Georgia is fighting hard against, there it is, the impeachment of the crooked, incompetent, and highly partisan DA of Fulton County, Fani Willis, who has allowed murder and other violent crime to massively escalate. Former president wrote August 21 on his, do I have to use the word truth? His platform, it's that social platform. Crime in Atlanta is worst in nation, Trump writes. She should be impeached for many reasons, not just the witch hunt. I did nothing wrong. Okay, so let's just pause for a minute. That's not anything new. We're used to that from the former president. When people don't take his phone at night, he up all night doing that kind of thing. But what do you make of Brian Kemp's statement there? One of his fellow Republicans, Jen, called for, of course, the special session to oust the DA, but there are others clamoring. They believe if she goes away, if they can get her out of there, the case goes with it, that RICO case. What say you?
He did connive to get her out of there. And check out below to watch more of the videos if you want. Subscribe and see you next time.